All right, brother. You ready? Well, let's change the world. I see you in 30, all right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, y'all? This is your brother here, half hour power. I love it, man. So what's up, y'all? Half hour of power with your brother.
Opinion.
What's going on, man? So Troy, man, talk to me, man.
What's up,
So
brother
to,
Alex?
so to my understanding, man, you understand credit. You understand what credit is. You understand what debt is. You even understand what money is. But Troy, what is life insurance? Like, what's life insurance?
Wow, that's a loaded question, Alex. Let's start with what life insurance is not.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Um, we come from a society, from a culture of uh, not understanding how wealth really works, and a lot of our parents or a lot of our grandparents have a very negative connotation of what life insurance is because they were sold products that were inferior and we were educated incorrectly and we were buying insurance based on price, not value. We had the debit guy coming around collecting, $5 a week. And
Right.
when mom and pop died, there was no insurance
Wow.
because the insurance companies are set up to have the policy expire before you do.
Mm.
And therefore they're never on the hook for the death benefit to the family. However, the families paid hundreds of thousands of dollars year after year after year with nothing at the end. We're doing fish dinners, when somebody dies. Families are ripped apart, broken apart, arguing, fussing, fighting. Um,
Wow.
so those cultural um, events have trickled down
Right.
from grandfather to father to son, and so on. So as a result, we look at life insurance as a very negative, uh, expensive need that we want to just pay the least amount for because it's like, I don't want to do that.
But
Like,
is those practices still going on today? Like, I understand our grandparents, 70s, 60s, 50s, but I'm talking about 2020. Is those same practices going on today?
well, absolutely. If
Ah.
if you know anything about my story, I joined the financial services industry 26 years ago, and I was not trained correctly. And as a result, they basically expected me to fail. However, it didn't happen that way. And the reason I am here today is because I've spent thousands of dollars of my own money finding out the truth about how wealth works.
Okay.
Most people in my position weren't willing or able to spend their last dollar to increase their information, increase their knowledge, and be able to educate people on how wealth really works. And unfortunately, I was able to do that, and that's why I'm standing here in front of you today.
Nice, nice. Well, let me ask you, for a person like me and a lot of people who don't know which is better, term or whole, because there's a war going on between term and whole, and I'm trying to say who's winning. I know I assume you sell both. Can I assume
Yes,
that?
yes,
Like, what's
yes.
better? Or, talk to me about term and whole.
Okay. This is this is something that most people have absolutely no idea of how it works, and I can give you a terrific analogy. You're going to get this right away.
Okay.
One is not better than the other, but
Okay.
it depends on your lifestyle. It depends on what's going on with your world. Everyone's situation is different. When you first left home, you bought an apartment because you couldn't afford a house. You put money down on that apartment, you paid that rent, and that rent was only good, that apartment was only good as long as you paid that rent. When you stopped paying that rent, you had no place to live and you didn't get your security deposit back. That's term insurance.
For the most part, yeah, right.
It's temporary. It's temporary housing.
Right.
It's temporary protection. But you know what? The American dream is to own a home, right?
Right.
Don't you have to put more money down than an apartment?
Oh, no doubt, without a question.
Isn't it more expensive? Don't you have to pay property taxes, maintenance, fees, lawn care?
Right.
Isn't that more expensive? But everybody wants it because there's resale value.
Right.
Right. You also get a tax benefit from the interest on the loan on the mortgage for 30 years or 15 years or however long you have it. So you got money coming back to you, right? It's an asset, right? And you can pay it off and live in it for the rest of your life. Guess what that is? That's whole life.
Got you.
It's a perfect mirror.
I got you.
They work exactly the same way.
Mm. Well, there's a lot of voices out there, Troy, and there's a guy who I follow, and he's been influential to me. You heard of him, and his name is Dave Ramsey. Now, I don't know if he's right. I don't know if he's wrong. I've heard a lot of financial consultants and a lot of people who would love to get on a debate with him because people scoff at what he says and the information they put out there. And a person like me, who don't know much, I listen to him. The guy is viral by default. Whatever video he posted, anything, people listen to him, bestseller author. And for a guy like you who make a life out of helping people with whole life and term, I mean, talk to me about him because he put some negative stuff up there. I want you to see this, man. Like, talk to me about this. Like, your life insurance sucks. Like, latest stuff, man. I'm like, come on, bruh. For a person like me who don't know why whole life is a ripoff. Okay. I mean, I don't want you to bash my man, but he's influential. Absolutely. And I'm just curious where the beef is at. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Listen,
because he's leading a lot of people opposite of what you're trying to do.
I know a lot about Dave Ramsey, and I also know that Dave Ramsey owns tons of whole life insurance.
Really?
In his portfolio.
Really? Oh my
tons of it.
Oh my gosh, we could change the subject now.
Let me explain. Let me explain. What I call Dave Ramsey is a financial entertainer. No, I'm serious. It's not funny. Listen.
No, I didn't mean to laugh, but it's like I just never heard that.
Listen, man. There are companies that back him.
Okay.
And they pay for advertising. So if he's going to say something on the radio or the show, it's got to line up with what the advertisers are writing those checks for.
But what he's saying, is it true?
Well, some of it is and some of it isn't. When you say something like life insurance sucks, come on, man. Are you serious?
Whole life is a ripoff.
No, it's not a ripoff.
Okay.
Whole life insurance is actually the biggest secret in the Internal Revenue Tax Code.
Really?
It is the largest secret in the Internal Revenue Tax Code. If life insurance is a ripoff, why do banks in this country have $170 billion of cash value in life insurance? If life insurance is a ripoff, why does Bill Gates and Warren Buffett stroke a check for $1.5 billion to put into a life insurance policy? These are the two most savviest investors in the entire world. Do you think they know a little bit about money?
Yeah, and Dave Ramsey can't touch them on his best day, so I feel you.
Listen,
I feel you. They got way more.
You have to say things that the advertisers are supporting because they're giving him money to produce his show. So if there's a mutual fund company that's stroking a check for advertising in his show, he's got to say things that line up with the mutual fund company says. He doesn't have to say the truth.
So he's a fraud. Are you calling him just a pawn on the chessboard? I mean,
well, here's another thing that you have to understand. We live in a regulated society.
Meaning,
Dave Ramsey doesn't hold a life.
meaning you sell your soul. I mean, meaning what? I mean, talking.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Listen, I have a fiduciary responsibility. So what that means is the recommendations that I give, I'm responsible. Dave Ramsey has no responsibility. He has no license behind his name. He can say anything and there's no repercussions for him.
Wow. He's influential though.
Exactly.
Was he always like this though? Always, or this is new?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give Dave Ramsey some credit here. All right. I got to look at both sides. Now, listen, as far as helping people get out of debt, as far as putting a system together where you can systematically pay off bad, non-deductible debt, I think Dave Ramsey's amazing.
Awesome. Okay.
When he talks about building wealth, he is way, way off point. Not even close.
All right, well let's switch gears. I'm tired of this Dave Ramsey. I just want to let you know of voices that I hear, and I'm glad you helped me. Like, he's good at one thing, and some things he don't really have no business being in. But you mentioned the word debt. I've been trying to lately be more conscious of, eating right or exercising. And you listen to you listen and read about information. And I heard some called good fats, like that's a good fat. And I'm like, why was a good fat? But my question to you is, what is good debt? I heard that before. I'm like, good debt. Talk to me. Like, is that true or did I hear wrong? Someone like, what is good debt?
Good debt is real. And
okay, so it is real.
I can give you a great example of good debt.
Okay.
When I buy a house for, $350,000 and I get a mortgage at 2%,
okay,
3%, I'm able to write off the interest of that loan for 30 years. That money comes back to me every single year. The mortgage is a debt, but it's got money coming back to me. So it is a good debt. When I have credit cards.
Hold on. Let's time out. So you're trying to tell me, if you are a millionaire or you're a billionaire, don't pay off your mortgage? Receive the tax break? Is that what you're telling me? That's what I heard.
That's absolutely right. The wealthiest people in the country will never pay off their mortgages and their real estate.
Really?
That's not. Listen.
I'm listening.
If I'm a billionaire or a millionaire, I will be at the highest tax bracket, no doubt about it. Whatever that bracket is, I'm in it.
Okay.
I will never be in a low tax bracket. So I will always have real estate in order to write off against my income. And I will buy life insurance to cover the debt that I owe on the mortgage. So if all my loans are $1 million and I have $1 million life insurance policy and I die, I'm not leaving anybody stuck. It gives me permission to pay that monthly mortgage every single month for 30 years and get the tax benefits.
I got you. So
we're talking macroeconomics now, not micro.
So, okay, macro. I see what you're saying. So if I got 8-9 million in the bank and I make millions a year and I want to buy a house for 800 grand, don't pay that off. You're already in a high tax bracket, pay it. Whatever a mortgage is on 800 grand a month, it don't even matter. You got the bank, you make money, you got money. So that's good debt. Is it any other good debt? Or a mortgage is the only good debt?
Well, I would say that's the best good debt.
Okay.
If you're a business owner, there's other opportunities for you to have good debt because there's always write-offs.
Okay.
I can, leverage money to increase my business. And because it's a business loan, it's good debt, right? I get a write-off for those,
I didn't know that
things that I put towards my business. So yeah.
As long as you get a write-off. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what's coming back. It's good. It's coming back.
Now I want to talk to you about something else. Now obviously we had two different spheres, economically and even mentally. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. I already know the answer, but Troy, where I'm at right now, 39 years old, and hopefully if I be around you more, I can be like-minded with you. $1 million, is $1 million a lot of money? Because it's a lot of money to me. I'm asking you personally.
Are you saying let me understand the question. Are you saying $1 million of income a year, or are
No,
you
just
saying $1
$1
million
million.
period?
$1 million in your online banking. Is that a lot of money?
Oh no,
Talk
absolutely
to
not.
me because if $1 million is a lot of money to me, so tell me why $1 million is not a lot of money to you.
Okay. Well, if you think about this, let's say you got a person who makes $100,000 a year in income, right? 10 years, it's $1 million. Most people work for 35 or 40 years. It's not that much, right? You have $1 million life insurance policy and you die. Your family gets $100,000 for 10 years tax free.
And
It's replacement of income. So when we talk about life insurance, if you make $100,000 and you got a policy for $1 million, and you think, well, that's a big number. No, it's not a big number, because
in 10
if
years,
you make $100,000 for 30 years, you need at least $3 million.
Yeah.
To cover.
It sounds like what you're saying is life insurance is replacing income.
That's what it does.
Okay. So $1 million, but so what's a lot of money to you, Troy? Like, is it 8 million? Is it 88 million? Like, for you, where you at in your life right now? Like, what if you log into your online banking and see and be like, yo, this is a lot of money. Like, what's a lot of money to you? Because if I wake up and open up my online banking and you see all them zeros, that's a lot of zeros to me. 2 comma club, that's a lot. But for you, you're like, oh, I can make this work. But what's a lot of money to Troy Schultz? Like, yo, this is some bread.
All right. I'm glad you asked. That's a great question. Listen, do you know what a quantum leap is?
No, explain. I heard it, but I don't want to act like I know the definition.
Okay. A quantum leap is when you can make your last year's annual income this year's monthly income.
Yeah, now I know what quantum leap means. Wow.
If you can use your time and your talents and your abilities to make your last year's annual income this year's monthly income,
that's a lot of money.
That's a quantum leap.
Quantum leap is a lot of money. Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot. So give me a number. Like, you making a certain amount of money. What's a lot of money per month to you?
Well, a lot of money a month for me is probably, I would say, somewhere like 300,000 or 400,000 a month.
Okay.
So you do the math.
That's 4 times 12 is what, 36? That's close to 4 million a year, right? If we do the math.
Yeah.
So okay. So if you had those resources right now, like, how would you help this world, man? Like,
come on, man. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Listen, my goal is to help people understand what their purpose in life is and live life with intention. Most advisors never even ask those questions to their clients because they're worried about what's in it for them. One of the exercises that I will take you through is to get crystal clear and get clarity on what it is your intention and your purposes are in life. I believe personally that my clients are going to be the ones when the poop hits the fan and everybody's broke because they've been doing things the wrong way. My clients are going to be the ones that are going to have the resources because they've done the right planning, and they're going to be able to make change because they're going to have cash. It's going to be accessible. It's going to be available. Cash is king, right? We're going to teach our clients how to take a very close look at their assets, take a very close look at their cash flow, and make sure that those things are lining up with what they want to accomplish in life. But when we sit down and talk to people, 9 times out of 10, they're going in opposite directions and we don't even understand.
Wow. So you provide clarity.
Yeah, man. Listen, you can't get there if you're not clear, right? I got to know what it is that you want. I ask people questions about, if this was your last day on earth and you was on your deathbed and you had your loved ones around you, what are you going to share? What wisdom, what knowledge, what are you going to share with those loved ones? Because that's really what's important to you.
Right.
We need to get to what that is and get it crystal clear in your eyes.
And you think that's missing out there, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And then we have to backpedal and go back to, is what I'm doing monthly, is my income or my assets lining up with where I want to go and what I want to do and who I want to give this wealth to? And if it's not, how do we change it? How do we fix it? I'm here to build a bridge to show you, here's what you want, here's where you are. I'm a bridge maker.
Right.
I make it happen. We build the bridge. And we get it, and we win all the time.
It's encouraging to talk to you. I mean, I think $1 million is a lot of money. You like, yo, I'm trying to make $400K a month. Like, it's just, you just don't know how you're healing me now. Just changing my processor.
Listen,
you know what I mean? And I appreciate that, man. But I need to ask you something else, like, because you got energy with you. You have influence. You have insight, wisdom, applied knowledge. What's your debt story? I mean, have you ever dominated credit card debt or removed a big loan or something you and your wife did? Like, what's your story to make you say, yo, I got to tell people this? Like, what have you overcame? Like, what's your debt story? I guess I'm trying to think of a better question. You know what I mean? Like, talk to me about you, man.
Yeah. Well, personally, I've been really blessed because I come from a family where my mother was in the financial services industry, and she introduced me to this business. So when I was, in high school and into college, my mother worked in the industry part-time. She was a school teacher, and she was around some really smart people. And the thing about my mother was she had a quality called stick-to-itiveness. And because of her stick-to-itiveness, it was slow, it was steady, and it multiplied and it multiplied. And these were strategies that she embedded in me and my brother as we grew up. So we always were savers. We never indulged in debt. So we were blessed in that realm.
So you don't have a debt story?
No, but I have an income story. And I talked a little bit about how when I was introduced to the business and how we didn't have the proper training. And, I was young. I was 22 or 23 years old when I started doing this.
Okay.
And, the people who were helping me or working with me that got me started in the business, that recruited me into the industry, my first 6 months, they told me, if you do this, for 6 months, we're gonna give you a reward. You're gonna go on the company convention to Maui, Hawaii. If you just do this, and I'm like, all right, I can do that. You got 6 months, no problem. Okay. I knocked it out the box.
Really? You closed the deal?
Oh yeah, I knocked it out the box. I did it. It was no problem. That's what you told me to do. That's what I did it. So 6 months into the business. Congratulations, Troy Shorts. You qualified for Maui, Hawaii. We're going to go to the Ritz-Carlton and, have this convention. We're going to parade you across the stage and we're going to cheer and throw confetti and blah, 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 blah.
What you had to do in 6 months?
It was an amount of sales. It was just sales.
Okay.
But it wasn't what I'm doing now. It was product sales. It was just like fill a need, sign here. It was very primitive, let's just say. So the reality was I get off the plane, I pull up on the bus, we go into the resort, and I meet the president of the company, and I'm with my fiance then, not my wife. She was my fiance. I'm bringing her, all paid, all inclusive, right? Me and her, right?
Wow.
We get in the hotel room. And, listen, let me finish the story. Man. We get in the hotel room and my wife looks in there and she sees the robe with the Ritz-Carlton and the slippers and this and that and the wine bottle on the thing. I told her, I said, don't touch none of that stuff. Put it back.
Wow.
Like, what? I said, we ain't got no money. We broke. We went down to the reception. They had the ladies with the trays of hors d'oeuvres, the food, the drinks.
It wasn't an all-inclusive.
Well, I didn't understand that it was paid for at the time. All I knew was I didn't have any money in my pocket. And I was afraid to to get a glass of champagne because I'm like, we at the Ritz Carlton. You know how much that stuff costs? You crazy? Put that thing back. But what I understood from this was these companies paraded me across the stage, put my face up on the platter, but I didn't have any money.
Wow.
They had the money.
Oh,
you see?
Wow.
And I thought about it afterwards. I said, I'd rather you give me the money and I take my own trip. I don't need your trip because you're using me.
Wow. You pay for that trip.
Yes.
Wow.
But I had no money in my pocket.
Right.
And when I came home from that trip, something in here clicked. I got to be the master, not you.
Wow.
I got to control my destiny, not you.
It's funny. A lot of people who have went to Hawaii came back with a different experience with you. I think that's one of the best things that happened to you. And it wasn't even a vacation. You know, it was an education of anything.
Yeah.
And it sounded like,
wow. Let me tell you who I sat by the pool with.
Okay.
This is how classy this place was. Now, this was a long time ago. O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown were sitting across the pool from me.
Wow. So this was early 90s.
Yeah. Listen, Wayne Gretzky was sitting on this side of me.
Wow.
At the pool. Like, this was big time, man.
Wow.
But I didn't have no money.
You wasn't in awestruck. You was like, you felt something ain't right about this.
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad it happened when I was 22 because it set my thermostat in my head.
I like that.
And it said, okay, listen, you got to turn up.
Wow.
You got to do what's right for you, not for what's right for the company. You got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
Wow.
They don't really care about you.
That's a great debt story. I'm thinking you was going to say, oh, I had credit card, student loan. That right there, you had emotional debt. You had ignorance debt. You had like, even though you was out there, you was like, I'm not here. Something's missing. And
it was fake.
It was fake. But you acknowledged that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, man, I gotta be mindful of the time. We 27 minutes in. We only got 3 minutes left. Have you ever met a billionaire?
Not personally, no. That I know of.
You never shook hands with a billionaire or like?
I don't think so.
Been around, you know?
Not a billionaire. But I know some people that are in my circle that are doing extremely well. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this about you. Is some rules. I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm gonna ask you 12 questions, and you have to pick my answers. You can't say nothing else.
Plead the fifth.
It's about you.
All right.
And you only got a minute and some change. We had 28 minutes, so I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, and you only can pick my answers. They the rules. Suck it up.
You a hard dude, boy. I tell you.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, ready. Cash or credit?
Cash.
Conventional or FHA?
It depends. FHA.
PayPal or Cash App?
PayPal or Cash App? I don't know.
Well, you got
Cash App. Let's say Cash App.
Fishing or golfing?
Come on, man. Come on.
Look, your timer. You got 60 seconds left.
Fishing and golfing.
Nah, you gotta pick one. You can't. Nah, you gotta pick one.
All right, golfing.
John Edmondson or Lamont McLean?
Come on, man.
Pick one.
Hairs here.
Pick one.
I gotta go with my dog, John Edmondson.
Capital One or Discover?
Oh, Capital One.
A written contract or handshake?
Written contract.
Stocks or Bitcoin?
Oh, stocks.
Monopoly or cash flow?
Cash flow.
Paterno or Sandusky?
Really? Paterno, bro. Come on.
LeBron or Magic?
I gotta go with LeBron Ski.
Okay. purchasing land or purchasing a business?
Same thing.
Nah, you got to pick.
Business.
Troy, I love you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Good luck to you. This was great, and I'm looking forward to being of service.
Yeah, man.
You
Well, we're gonna talk often, man. We're gonna talk often. We ain't gonna be strangers.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And you know,
tell Angel I asked about her.
I will do that. All
right, brother.
Thank you, sir. Be blessed.
You too, man.
This is your brother, Opinion.